people I think that watch are here.
And they just usually watch like, or this is usually what it is, yeah.
Pardon me?
And they usually just watch like their online people don't usually come on time.
Oh, okay. Let's not worry about it then. Don't worry about it then. If there's nobody on right now.
Well, you can like give me a sign if somebody shows up.
Okay.
I can just say that people who want it to be can it'll be on the video.
If it's to add more information, like it's on it later. That's part of it. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but.
Nancy's here.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Corey. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Good to see so many of you and some faces we haven't seen for a while. Nice to have you with us. Welcome, welcome on this sunny day. I was telling people I was actually getting my hair done the other day, and all of a sudden there was this little sliver of sunshine that was reflecting off the building across the street, and everybody said, look, 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 there's some sunshine, and everybody got all excited about it and got out to look out the window. But we've had a couple days of really pretty sunshine, so we will savor these moments. Welcome everyone, and welcome to our virtual watchers as well. We're going to start out with our prayer of the child of love. And just to mention, we've been singing this every Sunday to start out with. And I am just considering the other bookend to our service. We do our peace circle at the end, and this prayer of the child of love is our upfront bookend. So please stand and join us. It's right on the front of your songbooks.
You
We bring our full awareness to the one divine presence, our source, creative intelligence, and this substance, this presence surrounds us and moves through us into this world. And from this place of sacred connection, I invite you to envision our peace circle at the end of today's service. As we hold hands together, and let us invite all peacemakers in spirit into our circle. And let's envision them stepping in and holding our hands. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, the Peace Pilgrim, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Desmond Tutu, and Thich Nhat Hanh. Their powerful spirits join us in our circle. And we remember that we are all divine light, all equal brothers and sisters of these remarkable, remarkable peacemakers that graced us in this world. And we join our energy together. All those on this planet who are willing to put down their weapons, including attack thoughts and attack words seek the greater good of all. Peace for all. And let's envision this peace circle growing and surrounding our planet, hand to hand, shoulder to shoulder. We stand together in love. And we take this loving energy with us into the week, into the months ahead, knowing that peace is possible. And it begins with us. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. And we will stand again and sing a song together. Please turn to page 3. We have the power. This time of greeting each other is so inspiring from this perspective. There's so many hugs and smiles, and it's just beautiful. You can feel the loving energy. So we are going to have some really special music today, and we're going to welcome our beautiful Winnowies. So let's give her a
Breathe on me, breath of life. Shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle in my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. The gift of silver becomes a gift of gold. Deepest secrets will unfold. The night is shattered by the rising sun, and all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of love. Rock the broken pieces of this heart. Find the voices, make them still. Hold the shadows back and drink your fill. I'm tired of fighting words stored in my head, and all the dreams we've left unsaid. The sun is rising, now it won't be long till all the earth will sing the same song. Breathe on me, breath of life. Shake the dust from the stars tonight. Light a candle, say my name. Together maybe we could learn to change. Together maybe we could learn to change.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melly. And we know we can, right? This is the time in our service when we pause and fill our hearts with gratitude for all of the love and abundance and blessings that we share in our lives and together here at the fellowship. Just full of loving energy as we sit together. And we are so, so grateful for your generous donations. And as John comes around with the basket today, remember to put your prayer card in there if there's anyone that you would like for community prayer to be said for as well. And we are just so grateful for all of you. say with me the blessing of the tithes and offerings on the front of your bulletin. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I rejoice to give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you. Thank you so much. And if you would close your eyes one more time here, and we will pray together for all those named in this basket today, all of those people that you hold dear in your minds and your hearts. And we hold them with love. We embrace them with love. Whatever challenges they may face, we know that all will be well. We see them with God's eyes. Beautiful beings of light who have all of the knowledge they need, all of the wisdom they need within. We see them healthy and whole, safe and fed. We see them in community with friends and family, helping to serve their needs. Everyone named in this basket and everyone on this planet. We extend our love, our compassion to all. And together we say, and so it is. We have another fellowship song to sing. So please turn to page 25. We'll be singing It's in Every One of Us. And please stand. Now I'm so happy to introduce our speaker this afternoon. He's going to be handing some pages out for us to follow along with, so I'll give them a chance to do that. Please welcome Bill Diedrich. Give him a really warm welcome.
All right, good. Okay. Pardon me? What do you want me to do? Oh, okay. All right. I need a lot of instruction, don't I? All right. The title of the 3-page handout. Earlier, Richard asked me if there'll be a test, and the answer is yes, but that'll be on your own and how much you practice what we talk about today. This stuff is pretty deep, but nothing you can't handle. If you're familiar with A Course of Love, then you're probably familiar with this. I've abridged it a little bit so I could fit it. It's already on 3 pages. I didn't want to have more than 3 pages. So power, it's power, the power of acceptance. Power is the ability to be cause and effect. In the world, we always think of ourselves as an effect. We get sick or something happens to us. We have a financial problem or a relationship problem or a work problem, and we feel victimized, like it's happening to us. So we are the effect in that sense, but we're also the cause. And so we want to talk about that. And when I say that we're the cause, that's not in a blaming mode or that you did something wrong. It's just how things work in this dimension, that we are the cause. And most teachings that I'm familiar with that are New Thought, etc., talk about it's about your thoughts. But I'm going to say it's not so much about your thoughts, it's about your feelings. It's the feelings that go with those thoughts, because that's the power, that's the vibration. All right, so acceptance is the key. You can't accept what you fear. I'm reading from the page right there. If you want to follow along, I will call out numbers so you know where I'm at. I'm not going to necessarily read every word on here, but I'm going to talk about all of these. All that is not physical exists only in consciousness. This is under the 16.2 section. It simply exists. It's simply there within consciousness. All that you know, you have, it's because you felt it. And it's still there in consciousness because consciousness is eternal. All that you've learned that has touched your heart, it's there because you felt it. And all that you've thought is still there because you thought it. Things don't go away. What is of form and goes, what is of form, comes and goes and is impermanent. What is of spirit or consciousness is eternal. So the physical things that we experience are impermanent. The feelings that we felt, though, are eternal. Sickness, then, is not sickness, but rejected feelings. With this rejection, the feelings became physical. I'm on 16.4, and if you want to scan through that, let me explain that what that means is we get a feeling, and a lot of times these are things in childhood when we're very vulnerable. And we don't want to feel the feeling because it's just too painful. It's just too much. And so we don't allow ourselves to feel it. We reject it. And what happens, it goes into our body. And it takes on form eventually in the form of some kind of dis-ease or illness or something like that. I know that's a hard one to accept for a lot of people because we think, well, diseases, you catch them. But when you're taking a spiritual perspective, you don't catch them. The possibility is already within you. And again, it's not about fault. It's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just where you are right now in consciousness. So the rejected feelings exist as separate and forgotten physical manifestations of illnesses or whatever until you remember them and you accept them back into the spacious self. The spacious self is the whole self, all of your consciousness. With the negative feelings, or what we call negative, we rejected them, so we don't want to be conscious of those feelings. So we put them outside of our consciousness. We created a separation there. And the way that we heal then is to bring them back in, to experience them and accept them and to embrace them. So the manifestations then come to us then to prove to us what we think we already know, that we are responsible for the sorry circumstances of our life. I get sick or whatever, and it proves to me something. It proves to me my vulnerability. It proves to me all these things that actually it doesn't prove, but in my mind I think it does. Then there's other feelings. We don't reject them. I'm on 16.5. Ejected feelings are projected out into the world. And these are the unwanted feelings that we blame on other people. They manifest as our interactions with the world. They take on the form of actions of others, or accidents, or forces of nature that seem to thwart our plans, or situations or crises of all kinds. And these manifestations also come to prove what we think we know, that others, or the world in general, are to blame for the sorry circumstances of our life. It's not my fault. It's their fault. It's my spouse's fault. It's my parents' fault. It's my teacher's fault. It's my boss's fault. All that kind of stuff. None of these people are at fault. They're only triggers for what's already inside of you. So 16.6. This is what it's meant by no escape. No escape does not mean that anyone is bound to the past or to their former pain, but we're still bound to and affected by all that we have rejected or ejected. All that we tried to get rid of, we are bound to that because we have bound ourselves to it by trying to get rid of it, by not accepting it. In a sense, we have chosen not to love a part of ourselves, and we've pushed it away, and so we've fragmented ourselves. And the way that we then heal is to bring that part back. Some of you are familiar with shadow work. That's what people did in shadow work. There are lots of different modalities out there where people will bring back those fragmented parts of themselves, experience them, accept them, embrace them, and heal. All that has been expelled, I'm reading under 16.6, is part of the wholeness of the self. As what was rejected or ejected or rejected and became real is returned to the self, the physical manifestation dissolves because the source, which was separation, is no more. So let's say I have something in me that's I would call an illness or pain, and I am able to understand what feelings I rejected that manifested as this physical dis-ease. And I bring that back, I accept it, I embrace it. And when I do that fully, it is integrated into my whole self, and then the illness is no longer necessary because there's no source to it. There's nothing keeping it going, nothing in my consciousness keeping it going because I have accepted these parts of myself. Because it was the physical, it came to pass. Because the feeling that generated the physical manifestation was not physical to begin with, was not of the physical world, it returns to the non-physical realm within the spacious self. Thus, you don't escape it, you reintegrate it into the oneness of yourself. This reintegration requires a change in what you want to prove to yourself. We use illness or issues in the world to blame ourselves or feel guilt and those kinds of things. And so we are, in essence, proving to ourselves over and over again some things that really aren't true. Your feelings, rather than your thoughts about your feelings, reflect who you are. And that by acting on them, you'll act in accord with who you are, and thus in accord with the universe. By acting on them, we mean reintegrating them, accepting them, embracing them, reintegrating them. The reintegration is the process through which you discover this proof, the proof of the benevolence of your feelings and of the benevolence of the universe itself. All feelings, whether it's extreme rage or grief or sadness, is benevolent. It's not harmful. It's our fear of them that creates the harm. So how do feelings of loneliness, despair, anger, grief, we're at 16.8, how do they join with the spacious self? It joins only through acceptance. Without acceptance, the separation remains along with the physical manifestation. This is not to say that when things happen in the world, we don't take action in a physical way. I mean, if we need surgery, we go get surgery, but we still can do the spiritual work that created the need for the surgery in the first place, right? So I'm not saying that we don't do the doctor thing, but we do what we need to do in that realm. 16.9, it's only in the present that acceptance can occur. You don't have to go back or relive the past. You don't need to do a Freudian catharsis of something that happened when you were 2 years old. But there's also no escape, because in Christ consciousness, you have to become fully aware in the of the present. The present is the time of no time, of wholeness, where all that is real and all that was ever real exists. And while the physical manifestation of all that you feared and expelled were not real, because they were projections rather than creations, the feelings were very real, because you felt them. Had you not feared and expelled them, you would have seen that they were nothing to fear. So 16.10, you have no feelings then that are bad. All feelings are benevolent, as we said earlier. Fear is not a feeling, it's a response to a feeling. Emotions are responses. You have been told there are but two emotions, love and fear. What this is really saying is that when an emotion comes up, you either respond with love or with fear toward that emotion. So I'm driving down the road, somebody cuts me off, and I go into a rage. If I am resistant, if I go with that rage and go chase that person down and give them the finger or something like that, then it's like I don't want to feel that feeling, so I'm blaming it on this driver when he's only the trigger, is not the cause. And so I will have that tendency still to go into a rage every time somebody cuts me off. But if I recognize, oh, I'm going into a rage right now, and to be the observer of my feeling and say, I accept it, that's what I feel right now. I don't have to go chase that guy down. I can just enjoy my rage right now, if that's what it takes. But totally accept it. And I find, actually in the world of driving, that works all the time for me. But people cut me off or whatever, I get upset and it lasts about 10 seconds. And then I'm done and I forget about it. I don't take it home with me or go anywhere else, and I don't allow it to make my driving unsafe. So if you respond with fear, you expel, project, and separate. If you respond to a feeling with love, you remain whole. You realize that you have no feelings that are bad. You embrace sadness, grief, anger, and all else that you feel, because these feelings are part of who you are in this present moment. So it's total acceptance of your feelings, of whatever emotional state you might be in. When you remain in the present moment, you remain within Christ consciousness, where all that exists in harmony. To embrace is the opposite of to escape. To hold all within yourself in the embrace of love is the opposite of holding on to what you've already expelled and responded to with fear. So we hold on to things that have happened to us, and they just are there all the time. That's a different. What we want to hold on to is the love and the embrace, not the rejection of feelings, not the fear. There is no escape. There's only the embrace. And the embrace is Christ consciousness. Think of Jesus on the cross, looking out over all the people, as it talks about in A Course in Miracles, that the lesson of the crucifixion is teach only love. So when he looked out there, was he ticked off that people did this to him? No, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing. He accepted what was going on, how he might have felt, how they felt, and he embraced it. And as if you understand A Course in Miracles, you know that that's why there was a resurrection, because he was able to transcend all that fear and to be totally in a state of love when all these people did what we would normally interpret as very horrible things. So he was a good example for us in that. This relates to everything, not only a response to sickness or crisis situation. I'm at 1611. It relates to whether or not you're able to remain in a state of constant coming to know. What you expel, what you try to get rid of, you don't want to know. You don't want to know what it means because you've already made up your mind. I got sick and it's a bad thing. I got to fix it. I got to take a pill. I got to go to the doctor, whatever. I'm rejecting it. And my feelings are feelings of rejection. Maybe I blame myself. I shouldn't have done this or that. I should have been healthier, whatever. All that guilt stuff. The other way of looking at it is the body gets sick. I accept it. I embrace it. I take a look at how do I feel about this illness. Am I upset? Am I angry? Am I feeling hurt or resentful or what? I accept and embrace that. And that helps in my healing. I may still go to a doctor or get a pill or do whatever, but I go into a place of acceptance, stop fighting it. It's also known as non-resistance. So I embrace it instead. I gave a couple talks in past years about several years ago when I had shingles. And I was literally in a lot of pain every single night. I could not lay down in a bed for 6 weeks. And every night I was up pacing or whatever, dealing with extreme pain from my right foot all the way up to my right lower back. And so that's what I did during this time. I asked myself, what is this about? What did I reject that turned into this extreme physical pain? And for me, it was the feeling that I was unlovable. And I'm sure I picked that up as a child, and who wants to feel unlovable? I mean, and I thought I had already conquered that feeling, but it was still there, and the shingles came to show me that. So I had people tell me or say to me, don't you wish you would have had the vaccine for shingles? And I said, no, shingles is one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life. Because what I learned from it, I learned to love myself. So, when we think we know, when we predetermine, we're trying to be in control, but we're not in control. Somebody says a mean thing to you. You think you know what that means. They're insulting you. They're affronting you. But you don't know that. You've made up your mind. You've judged that. And as long as you do that, then you are rejecting the feelings that are there. You are actually projecting them. You're projecting them on the person that you're blaming. What we're saying here is, yeah, you might get upset at first when somebody says or does something, but if you can step back, you can realize they're only the trigger. They're not causing you to feel. The feeling is already in you, or it wouldn't have been triggered. And so every time somebody ticks you off, it's a wonderful opportunity for you to grow. Every time you get sick, it's a wonderful opportunity for you to grow. And if you really got something that's really debilitating, then you've taken on a big project. And instead of feeling bad about that, you should feel good about yourself that, wow, I must be able to handle a lot because I've taken on a really big project here. This sickness or this relationship or this situation. What happens when we make a decision that something is wrong or bad, our thoughts then go to look for confirmation, to confirm that, yep, it's a bad thing. Yep, that person's wrong. Yep, this sickness is terrible. Where will we step back and say, you know what? I want to accept and embrace this calm state where I can come to know. That's what we're talking about here, the state of coming to know, which is a state where you don't judge, but you trust that you will come to know what something means and what it is, why it is here for you. But you can't do that unless you let go of all your judgments and all of your ego decisions. So we think through effort or control that we can alter the situation for the better. I'm on the 3rd page. Only when you accept that no feelings are bad will you allow yourself to come to know what they truly are. When you feel an intuition, we're on 16:12, when you feel an intuition, you respond differently than you do to unwanted feelings that you're quick to want to do something about. But all these feelings are your intuition. Whatever pain you might be feeling, emotional, whatever resentment or hurt, it is your intuition speaking. That's why it's benevolent. It's letting you know something is off. And all you need to do is accept and embrace and come to that place of coming to know, and you'll know what you need to do. It'll come to you. And with practice, I found that this is true. So many times I find myself judging a situation, and then I catch myself and I back off as, okay, I don't really know what's supposed to happen here. I don't know how this is supposed to turn out. All I know is I like it to be for the highest good. And so I let go. And so often, I'm just amazed at how things turn out. It's a similar thing in A Course in Miracles where you hand it over to the Holy Spirit. And it's the same kind of thing. Only we're involving the emotions here with this one. That's what I like about A Course of Love. It deals with the heart and with emotional states and tells you exactly what to do with them. All that you predetermine that you think you know is only cause for suffering, arrogance, and righteousness. And if you attempt to hold on to it as the known and do not get into a constant state of coming to know, then your suffering continues. That's really suffering, isn't it? Something happens, we judge it as bad, we set an unattainable goal that I wish this wasn't here, but it is here. Where instead, if we could back off and enter a state of coming to know by accepting and by embracing first what is happening, and second, how I feel about what is happening. That's really what we want to get at. How do I feel about what is happening? We've talked, as I said earlier, we've learned so much about, your thoughts create your life and that sort of thing. But if you read closely, especially in the writings of David Hawkins and also in Yogananda, that our thoughts are not really our own. They are attracted to us by our emotional state. So we tend to think certain thoughts over and over again, and you think it's your thought. But actually, it's drawn to you by the emotional state. If you can accept and embrace that emotional state, those thoughts won't be drawn to you anymore. You won't be thinking them because they're not part of you anymore. There's no source for them. So if you think about that, your thinking is not the problem. Your thinking alerts you to go within. But the thinking itself is not the problem. It's the feeling that goes with it that we're not dealing with. So consciousness includes feelings of sadness, loneliness, and anger, as well as feelings of happiness, compassion, and peace. It does not include our responses. It doesn't include love or fear, because love is everything, and fear is nothing. I don't have time to go through the rest of what's written here, but basically what we're saying here is your world depends on your response to whatever's going on in your life. Are you responding with love? Are you responding with fear? If you're responding with fear, then you bring a lot of hell and suffering into your life. If you respond with love, you bring heaven into your life. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's right in front of you. It's in your heart and mind. It's about accepting where you are right now, how you're feeling, embracing it, loving it. I look at it as, if I have a negative feeling that I'm carrying on with, that I will say, I draw that feeling into my heart. And my heart is a vast place. It holds the whole universe. So certainly if it can hold the whole universe, it can hold this little anxiety or whatever it is, whatever negative thing. I pull it into my heart. My heart holds the whole universe. Your heart holds the whole universe. Once you bring all these negative feelings, we call them negative, embrace them, and once you accept and embrace them and integrate them into the spacious self, then you are whole. You are fully integrated. And you realize that you can embrace everything, just as love, which is everything, embraces you and it. And this is paradise. Paradise in our life right now. So I will end this talk with a prayer for you. And the prayer is that, being aware of this, we call upon a higher self in you to accept and embrace all that is within you. And so all of you now, rise up in clarity and confidence and embrace the love that embraces you. Embrace your health, your wealth, your wholeness, your purpose. Embrace who you are in truth. It is done. Thank you, God. And so it is. Meditation? Short meditation, right? Or not? Okay, we got a few minutes. I'll try 4 minutes, okay? All right. Please, yeah. Close your eyes. Find yourself in a comfortable position. Breathe in, breathe deeply. Pull that air down to your belly. Hold it for a second, and then let it go. Breathing in, holding a second, breathing out. With each in-breath, you are receiving a gift. You are receiving life. In the book of Genesis, it says that God, or Elohim, breathed life into the first human soul. So with each in-breath, God is breathing life into you. And with each out-breath, you're doing two things. One, you're letting go of all that is not love. And two, with each out-breath, you are extending the love you have to everyone else in your life. Extension and expiration. So breathing in, breathing out. Let us give thanks that there is no escape, but there is the embrace. Let us give thanks that you live, move, and have your being within the embrace of God's unconditional love. Let us give thanks that all that has troubled you is up for healing now, and that you can breathe your way through it. Accept, embrace, let go of all judgments. Allow yourself to come to know your feelings are your intuition. They are benevolent. Give thanks for all of your feelings, whatever they may be, including the ones you call negative. Give thanks for them. Bless them. Thank you, God, for everything that I feel every day. Thank you for the benevolence of my feelings. Thank you that I know how to integrate those feelings into my whole self and to become whole. That I know how to let go of suffering and hell and to embrace heaven, wholeness, paradise, right now, in this moment. In this moment, you are healed and whole. In this moment, you are in God's loving embrace. In this moment, you are receiving God's unconditional love, and in this moment, you are letting go of all that is not love. And in this moment, you are extending love to everyone in your life. And so, once again, life becomes what it was meant to be, a paradise. Heaven. Heaven right now. Not some far-off imaginary place, but heaven right now as a state of being. We all have access to that state of being. Again, give thanks for the embrace of God's unconditional love, for the heavenly state that is available to all of us. Thank you, God. And so it is. All right. If you're on, is anybody online? If you're online and you would like a copy of this handout, my email address is theroadhome@comcast.net. .net, not .com. theroadhome@comcast.net, and I will send you a PDF. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dad. Corey and I are grateful to share a chant by Leanne Lines. At the end, feel free to join in, and also you might want to dance. You're welcome. That's right.
I speak love into the world. I speak love into the world. I into the world. I sing love into the world. I sing love into the world. Won't you sing with me now? I sing love into the world. Won't you sing with me? I sing love into the world. Let the whole world sing love. 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 Sing with me. I sing love into the world. Won't you sing with me? I sing love into the world. 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 Well, that was beautiful and a beautiful way to end. Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Winnie, for your beautiful music, and Corey, you as well. Thank you so much. And thank you, Bill, for your wonderful message. I was just thinking that would be a really good gratitude practice. Thank you for everything I'm feeling right now. Just do that on a regular basis. And thank you to all of you for being here. It just feels so good to be together and to see this room filling up. I can't tell you. Wonderful. Thank you to all that are joining us also on our live stream. I have a few announcements. We have Death Cafe coming up this Saturday at the office, 2 p.m. We have a sound bath healing session on Thursday the 26th at 6:30 at the office. And we have our Mediumship 102 workshop and individual sessions coming up on January 28th. That's a Saturday. And you do not need to have attended the 101. You'll be just fine if you'd like, if you're interested. And I also wanted to mention too that Julie's doing her healing movements on Mondays, but the time has changed. It's 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So join us for that. And now let's get into our nice big peace circle and say our closing blessing. Let this be my joy.